Hello, Aquariuses. Welcome to your October 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about a very liberating, freeing month of October. I'm so happy to be here talking to you all. Okay, I know that we have a few crazy images coming up with the tarot forecast. Don't worry about it. This month is super empowering. I mean, look at how you're ending the month. The Emperor rooted down by 10 of Cups. You are on top of the world. You are really going into a much better, much more fulfilling, much more place, but we got to get from point A to point B there. I'm excited to have a fun and energetic reading with you all because I feel like a lot of you might be feeling a little bit discouraged. I feel like a lot of you might be feeling a little bit overworked, a little bit concerned about how hard something has been and about how much more effort it took than you expected. So let's sit back, let's figure out what's going on here. I hope you guys have a great coffee or tea. You're going to be shocked to hear what I'm drinking today. Nothing too taboo, but I was walking into the gas station the other night. I'm never really inside gas stations ever, but it's a long story. I didn't have water, so I went into the gas station, and I saw the craziest thing in their thing. It's Coca-Cola with coffee, and it's a really beautiful can. I mean, they went all out with this can art. But I'm going to try that during your reading. So we're just kind of mixing things up here on YouTube. Who knows? Well, let's see. Okay, let's try it. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Maybe it's an acquired taste. Yeah. Y'all know that Sky is a little bit of a health freak. Always, trying to go for celery juice, apple cider vinegar, lemon. But, it's just been, I don't know, September of 2021, you find yourself in the situation and you're at home with coffee blended Coca-Cola. Okay. I don't know, it's kind of interesting, but I bet it will perk me up for y'all's reading. Okay, let's get into it. Intuitive messages, first and foremost, then the week to week, then the extended reading on Patreon. Okay, ooh, yeah, I feel a very strong zing of caffeine, but I do need it. You got to know that something's done. Death card has been coming up a lot this month for a lot of people. I think Scorpio's had Death and Ten of Swords. I think that Sag had the Death card as well. I can't remember, but I've been seeing it all the time. Something's over. October 2021. Something is over. And we got to know what it is. And we also have this kind of weird, knowing of an oncoming end. Okay, it's weird. And this is working with that timeline that I talk about on this channel, the February 2022, March 2022 timeline. We might still have something going on in our lives right now that we know is not going to end until then. And it's here, and we're kind of enjoying the presence of it. We're kind of enjoying the forward momentum of the experience and having the security of it, but we kind of know that it might end. So what I'm feeling is those of you who are in relationships that are done, but you're staying in it for the comfort of it. Some of you who are in businesses or jobs or income generation, this is a little bit more preferable than the relationship side because it resonates more with the year energy we're in. If there's if there's a fiscal or material security component to it, which obviously relationships can have that too. But there might be a job or an output or some type of productivity scheme or spectrum, I want to say energetic spectrum, that you might know is on its last leg, but you love it. And it's special. And if it's something you've built, if it's something you've created, okay? Sorry, I'm just drinking this very Aquarian drink, Coca-Cola with coffee. That is not a manifestation of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. I do not know what is. It's very, very eccentric. I kind of been starting to like it, actually. I'm kind of starting to like it. You guys will have to try it. Tag me, comment below if you get this at the gas station or if you get this anywhere or on Instagram. I mean, make sure you are tagging the right account on Instagram because I got impersonated over there. It's for those of you who know, it's God, can we have a little bit of I don't know, easy time in this year? But they do say that what is it? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I mean, what can you do? I mean, let them drink Coca-Cola with coffee. I don't know. We're making a humorous reading, Aquarius, because you got to start taking yourself a little less seriously too. You're taking something too seriously here. Okay. I mean, bang. I feel that Aquarius is, ooh, no, Aquarius, I've created a really, I don't know, lucrative business, and it's making me so much, it's doing so well, but I also feel like I want to do something else, and I'm just so freaked out about not having enough time for it. And to a degree, there are like first world problems here that are really determining how you're moving forward in time and how you're moving forward with a better, stronger essence. Because you are feeling a little bit depleted to me. Jupiter and Saturn have been retrograde in your sign now for months and months. I've made videos about that. You can check my channel. They've been retrograde in your sign, and we've been seeing some unhealthy Aquarian energy. Challenges within commitments, trying to innovate things too hard, trying too hard, pushing too hard, trying to meet a rigid standard, fixed air energy, a rigid standard of output that might not be doable with the current settings, and then basically breaking everything because of that. If you can imagine a roller coaster, and you know those people that like operate the roller coasters, they're like pushing the lever to like make it go as fast as possible, and the lever is pushed all the way to its maximum point, but the attendant is like saying, I know that if I push the lever further, maybe even if I break the console, that just making the lever push further will make this roller coaster go faster. Okay, that's a prominent energy right now. And I've not noticed that until we did your reading, Aquarius. Yeah. Okay, we have to be a little bit more careful at this time. And I already feel you guys clearing the way for yourself. I already feel you getting things in order. I already feel you righting wrongs. I feel you optimizing. And I'm really proud of that. Because I think probably a lot of people here on my channel, you know, we're pretty spiritually minded. We think about, you know, long-term trajectory. We're not the most myopic people here, but we are human nonetheless. But I already sense many Aquarians are already seeing a myopic tendency if they're there, and they're already knowing limits as well. Like basically sitting at the console, whether it's like the console of your car. Like I can see a lot of people pushing their cars to the limit here, pushing speed limits to a limit, pushing and just taking things too fast, okay? Pushing things too hard. Do not be afraid to delay, okay? You guys are like so productive. It's crazy right now. Don't be afraid to delay progress. Don't be afraid to delay some type of negotiation. In fact, I was actually talking in Capricorn's reading, and it might be good for you guys to check that if you have a lot of Capricorn in your chart. But Capricorn and Aquarius are kind of similar right now because we've had so many planets move from Capricorn to Aquarius over the last year or two that these two signs are really activated, right? What I was noticing for Capricorn was that there was basically it's really important to not get stuck on a hyperdrive mode that doesn't really actually give that much to you in the future. And there's sort of this feeling of like, in this current moment, I am really fixing things up. I'm really getting things where they need to be, but it's not actually really that meaningful. In the long term, we have to basically just be super honest with ourselves about where those types of things are. And I think that your sign, especially towards the end of the month, is going to be very capable at having that clarity. And you might even have to be a bit of a leader with that clarity, because a lot of the other signs are very unconscious or can't quite figure it out. There's this crazy kind of difficulty right now that I feel at a societal level where people just can't figure it out. Like they can't figure out what they need to do. They can't figure out, like, even though these answers are really not that hard, there's a brain block. There's some type of knot. There's some type of binding. And it's not deliberate. It's not like, when I say binding, I don't mean like someone's bound people. I mean, what I mean is people are kind of feeling entrapped a little bit within what they are, I don't know, currently dealing with, and losing a little bit of control over the future through that. And we basically have to start getting into the place that we know that we're meant for, starting in October. Okay, not February 2022, but starting in October. And February 2022 is when it really kind of maybe officializes or it boosts. And another thing that I'm feeling for you, Two of Swords coming up, You guys feel like you have these two split paths, or you have like these two options. Maybe it's two different careers, maybe it's two different places to live, maybe it's two different jobs. I don't know. We already said careers, but I don't think that they're as juxtaposed as you think. I don't think that they're as incompatible as you think. I feel that one of the main things with the Aquarian archetype right now is it feels like it can't have everything. It feels like it can't have its cake and eat it too. And it feels like you might need to start doing everything, knowing that it can't take away from anything. So starting to do everything in a way so integrity based, so strong, so measured, so resonant that it can't detract from the future. So let's take a second before we get into this week to week to think about detraction. Things that we feel detract from what we actually want, and is it worth it? Even if it sustains us in this moment, is it worth it to do that if we feel it detracts from what we're doing in the future? You know, I think it's a very poignant consideration for this period of time. And I think that's going to start clearing up. I don't have an answer. I'm trying to understand psychically to some degree. I think that a lot of this is like a mental minefield. And I think a lot of this is kind of an excuse for a lot of people to get a little stuck and to basically prolong their current situations and in a roundabout way receive security. But I also do think that some people need to clean it up, or some people need to also do a little bit better with how they're, I don't know, operating in their life, like from like business to relationships to ethics to integrity, all of that stuff probably needs to be through clarity done better to some degree. And I think that Aquarians are probably really leading the way with that. What else do I want to say before we do before we do the week to week? I want to say that you might need, instead of making strong choices right this second, to secure and stabilize what you currently have and make it live up to what you think makes it non-detracting. If you don't want to release it now and just move into purpose now. Does this make sense? I know this is kind of like super general and arbitrary, but if you're going through this, you know it, and I feel like it's important to talk about. If it doesn't resonate, sun, moon, rising sign, you know. There is a point in time where certain things that we once thought were the end all be all of our output are just totally a thing of the past, or totally not resonant with how we're growing. And I don't think that especially if it's a job, especially if it's like a commitment, I don't think that it means that we need to just walk away. I don't think that it means that we need to just disappear away from these previous outputs. But I do think that it means that they need a reframing or some type of relevance to how we're living now in order for us to not look back on them poorly. Okay? Basically, we need to take what we have now and do it right and forge it to the degree that we're not worried about it in the future. And that's going to save a lot of the headache that some of you might be worried about having in October. We'll talk about the week to week here. Week number 1 of October, you've got the Death card rooted down by 4 of Cups. There's a change in relationship status for some of you. Some of you are single again, and then some of you might also be manifesting a relationship as well. But I feel a transformation in living arrangements. Maybe you're moving, maybe you are also experiencing something that you've been working on for a long time in a different way. And this is the week 1 of October, that kind of catalyzes this thing that we're talking about, where it's like, I kind of feel differently about what I've been working on for a long time. I'm kind of wanting a bit of a change, but also, you know, I kind of feel the Devil card as well, where it's like we feel a bit chained, you know, because of income, because of comfort, because of security. We feel chained to something that's maybe not resonating so much anymore. And I think that the key is to actually focus. Okay, yeah, because this is also what I talked about in the Capricorn reading. sort of this idea of a focus hierarchy. Maybe we can kind of adjust that a little bit. Maybe there's certain aspects of it that we can play up more, and certain aspects of it that we can, do less of if we don't like it, to just get it into a point where it's maintainable to the degree that it can be let go of if we want to, or it can be maintained and we have a little bit more true autonomy over it. And the first week of October is going to basically present the feeling. It's going to there's going to be a feel. There's going to be a feeling of like, yes, I'm in the right place for me, or no, I'm not in the right place. And that feeling is basically going to carry you through the rest of the month and create changes in your experience. Week 2, you've got 3 of Swords rooted down by 5 of Cups reversed. I'm sensing that some of you might have had a breakup. Some of you might have had a release, and it's good if you did, okay? It's a great thing. If you're heartbroken, or if you're feeling bereavement or despondence or anything like that, always know that when you're having that because of a breakup, that it's a great that it happened now to some degree, because why would we want to be with someone who would put us through this and not know that they have that capacity? That is a terrifying thought. Also, if it's some other type of bereavement, like a more natural form of loss, like death in the family or anything like that, which I'm not saying that that's what you guys are going to have, but if that's something you've had in the recent past, before coming to this reading, I think that, it's like a part of the human experience. And I do think that, I don't know, it's kind of indicated for a lot of people to have some type of very new way of being in space. So it's different to live a life without someone that we've had for a long time, whether through like a breakup or through death or through loss. That is always a huge adjustment. And I do feel like a lot of Aquarians might be having that adjustment in the second week of October. It gives your fractals the opportunity to clear space for new experiences. And eventually, when you're ready, I think that you will be able to do that beautifully. If you've had something happen a long time ago, and I tend to as a reader, I would never predict that someone's going to experience a loss or a death in the family or something. That's really crazy for people to try to predict that. But what I like to do is I do like to work with people who've had it like more than 3 or 4 months ago, because I think that bereavement can't be controlled. I don't think that bereavement is something that people can try to psychologically shift too much in the initial experience of it. So if it's been a few months, I do think that you can really start to open up a little bit more now. I think that you can start to pursue new things a little bit more and come to an evolutionary state with the previous experience of bereavement. And the second week of October might be a really good opportunity for you to get some new air, okay? New light, new illumination. Third week also really makes sense for that. Queen of Cups rooted down by 2 of Swords. Emotional airing out, emotional turnover, emotional transformation, but you're still maybe covering your eyes to something as well. And I think it's really important for Aquarius to not block these new changes, and to also not block their emotional connection as well. It might be really easy to just be that detached Aquarian person when it's really important to start to flow a little bit more with the emotions so that you actually can kind of get some of that out. It's basically a good time for a cry or something in the third week of October. I mean, we're hitting Scorpio season, which, I mean, my hypothesis is that most crying happens in Scorpio season. So maybe that's good for all of us. But that might be Pisces season too. I don't know. If you have a Scorpio in your life, most crying happens in Scorpio season. If you don't, it's Pisces season. Astrology jokes. Week number 4, you have the Emperor rooted down by 10 of Cups. All of a sudden you're back in your power. Very kind of wishy-washy, fluid experience for you until the 4th week, when all of a sudden you are recognized, or you are empowered, or you are back in charge. So I wouldn't be surprised if you feel re-empowered, re-elevated, and no longer doubt some of your choices, some of your previous creations. And I would say that you are very capable in the 4th week of October to heal a relationship, to make a new relationship commitment if you've been single for a long time, to have closure, or to no longer be negatively affected by a previous breakup, to no longer be siphoning your energy off to another person because you think that their abandonment of you was somehow your fault, and you try to maybe think of ways to invite them back in. Maybe you release that in the 4th week of October, and maybe all of that energy that got caught in the void is now yours for more executive capacity in your life. That's a really interesting thing. And on that note, Aquarius, let's move to your extended reading on Patreon. I'll be really excited to talk to you guys over there about the other aspects of this month, central themes, supporting themes, and just a fun little creative dialogue with you guys. So every week I do weekly forecasts on Patreon that are only available over there. I hope you guys will sign up for it. I'll link it below and in the center of your screen now. Have a great month of October, Aquarius. Looking forward to Jupiter and Saturn going direct in your sign. It should get easier. Much love. Bye.